Today, I want to talk about money because before minimalism, before this journey of being intentional, before reinventing myself and changing the way I think, I made a few mistakes with money. Now, my goal for this conversation is to open a line of communication so we can openly and honestly talk about the money mistakes we've made. Now, as I'm sharing my mistakes with you, I'd love for you to also share a few mistakes you've made down in the comments. That way we can create a safe space to talk about a topic that's oftentimes seen as taboo in a way that helps everyone in this community so we all can drop this weight of guilt we're carrying. If you're excited about this, give it a thumbs up for me. Also, if this is your first time watching, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can join this community and grow with us on this journey. All right, mistake number one for me was paying the bare minimum on my student loans. To be completely transparent with you, I never had a ton of consumer debt. It was always an uneasy feeling I felt whenever I owed anyone anything, especially money. So for me, my student loans was really the only debt I had in my life. Now, you would think that I'd also had this uneasy feeling about owing this money, but for some reason I didn't. I found myself starting to normalize it. Oh, it's just $230 some odd a month. What's the big deal? I got hired at my first job as a college grad. I'm making money now, right? So I'll just pay the bare minimum every month. That way I can still enjoy life. So I did. So from 2015 to 2018, I paid the minimum payment every month. And I knew something was off because every time I signed into my computer to make another payment, I noticed that the principal balance hardly ever changed. It felt like all of the money I was paying was barely doing anything. But in 2019, that quickly changed when I changed my mindset. I educated myself, I got aggressive and intentional, and I paid off the remaining $23,000 I had in 12 months. Number two is not budgeting. As I mentioned, I didn't have a lot of consumer debt. My student loan was all I owed in terms of money. So again, one would think that if I was only paying the minimum payment, then I'd have a ton of money left over at the end of the month. Well, so did I. See, as I'm thinking back during this time of my life, I don't recall ever spending money willy-nilly like it grew on trees. I was saving a lot, but at the same time, I still questioned where my money was going. Now, as simple as it sounds, a written budget changed the game for me. I always thought I was managing my finances in my head, and I did. Well, I tried to for years, right? But every month, there was always something I either forgot about or overlooked. But it wasn't until I wrote everything down that I finally saw the full picture, which is why I was also able to increase my student loan payment and pay off so much money in 12 months. Number three is not having clear values. The same way your values have influence over your life, it also has control over how you spend your money. And I experienced this firsthand. I've shared with you before how this minimalism and intentional living journey has taught me a lot about myself, who I am, what I value. If my clutter could talk, what would it say about me, right? This journey has uncovered a lot, including my money habits. See, if we could travel back in time 4 or so years ago, and if you asked me then, what do I value? I definitely would have answered with confidence because at that time, I thought I had a clear grasp around what my values were. But it wasn't until I wrote my first detailed budget that I realized that my money always followed my values. Clothes, shoes, buying things I didn't need but thought I did. I was chasing the Joneses in a way. Which brings me to mistake number 4, and this may sound bad or embarrassing, but much of what I spent was spent to impress others. I remember the first time this reality check hit me. I was decluttering my closet for the first time, and as I was going through all of the clothes and shoes I no longer wore, I felt this guilt start to cover me like a blanket. The sheer amount of clothes I had with tags still on them was mind-blowing. Shoes that looked like the soles have never kissed the ground because the only time I wore them was when I tried them on in the store. Now, as I was bagging up all of this stuff to donate it, I felt angry with myself because in my mind at the time, all I saw was how much money I wasted. I mean, I was even replaying scenes in my head because every piece had a story. And if you asked me, I could probably tell you why and when I bought it and how many times I wore it. So I bought these khakis from Abercrombie and Fitch, right? I wore them one time, my senior year of high school, once. Look at this. They're in the mint condition. Brand new freaking, I wore them once. Number 5 is not setting goals. Now, this is ironic because I've always been the type of person to set goals in every area of my life, whether it was in track and field, weightlifting, writing poems, publishing my first book back in 2016. I've also had goals for my relationship ever since I met Alexis. But for some reason, I never set solid goals for myself when it came to my money. Yes, I was saving a lot. I was also managing my finances in my head, so I thought, but my goals never expanded past that until I buckled down and got intentional. My first big money goal was become debt-free, and I accomplished that in 2019. My goal after that was to save a small emergency fund, and I also accomplished that. My next goal now is to finish cash flowing our wedding, also cash flowing school for Alexis, and then preparing for this next chapter in life. Well, like I said, I'd love to know what money mistakes you've made in your life. So comment below so we can continue this conversation and learn from each other. Also, if you enjoyed the transparency I shared with you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up for me. Also, if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can join this community and grow with all of us here. Always remember to stay true to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.